President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York for the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo calls for a new approach towards educating girl child and by extension addressing challenges of school dropout and early marriage. Plus, we'll be having a studio discussion on the soon-to-be introduced means of digital financial transaction. I'm talking about naira. These and more on Panorama. I'm Ruth Aguele. Welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari is in New York, United States, ahead of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Now, this will be the sixth time the president will be physically present to address the largest gathering of world leaders since coming to power. Let's get the details from State House correspondent Adam Musambo.
President Muhammadu Buhari arrived JFK International Airport, New York, about 4 p.m. Sunday evening local time. On hand to receive him were Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bande, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, and other senior government officials. President Muhammadu Buhari is scheduled to address the United Nations General Assembly on Friday, the 24th of this month.
We don't have a larger platform, a larger stage than the UN. So the UN is a global stage. When you now play on that stage, you are talking to the whole world. The world listens to you, the world gets your perspective, the world gets to hear your own take on global issues, and then it's also an opportunity to bring your local perspective to the international stage. That's why every year, except last year, due to COVID, the president could not be at the UN physically.
The theme for this year's session is building resilience through hope to recover from COVID-19, rebuild sustainably, respond to the needs of the planet, respect the rights of people, and revitalize the United Nations.
That is what the world needs at a time like this. So the president will talk around that theme, and then he will also talk about things that are typically Nigerian, but which affect the world. For instance, terrorism and the banditry part of it. All that Nigeria is doing to combat terrorism, combat banditry will come up, obviously, at this global stage. And then there are going to be some side meetings on agriculture, on environment, on power. These are key things for Nigeria.
During the visit, the president will partake in several high-level meetings and hold bilateral talks with a number of world leaders and heads of international development organizations. From New York, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
In his capacity as Minister of Petroleum Resources, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the incorporation of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, indicates that this is in consonance with the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, which requires the Minister of Petroleum Resources to cause for the incorporation of the NNPC Limited within 6 months of commencement of the Act, in consultation with the Minister of Finance on the nominal shares of the company. The Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mr. Mele Kolokiari, has therefore been directed to take necessary steps to ensure that the incorporation of the NNPC Limited is consistent with the law. The President also approved the appointment of the board and management of the NNPC Limited, with Senator Ifeanyi Ararume as chairman of the board, while Mele Kolokiari and Umar Ajia as Chief Executive Officer and Chief Financial Officer. Other board members are Dr. Tajuddin Umar, Northeast, Mrs. Lami Ahmed, North Central, Malam Muhammad Lawal, Northwest, Senator Margaret Chuba Okadigbo, Southeast, Barrister Constance Harry Marshall, South, and Chief Pius Akinyelure, Southwest. All right, let's talk money, particularly naira. In June 2021, the Central Bank of Nigeria announced plans to launch a digital currency dubbed the naira. by October 1st, 2021 to be precise, joining 81 countries strongly considering digital currencies. Now, the CBN's decision followed 2 years of contemplation on digital currency technology. Additionally, the CBN's intention to achieve 80% financial inclusion by the end of 2021. How is that going to be feasible? We'll find out. Is another motivation actually to launch digital money. To throw more light on what e-naira is all about is an economist here joined us in the studio, Tefra Williams Abraham. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
E-naira, what is it all about, and is Nigeria ready for it?
Thank you very much. The e-naira is CBN's response to taking our currency and expanding our transaction capacity to the digital space. Now, when you said in your introduction that the CBN 2 years ago has been contemplating, the CBN contemplates through research, intense research, model testing, trying to see cross-country comparison, testing the legal premise, trying to see is our country right for this policy or not. That's a lot of research that goes into it. So 2 years ago, the CBN started all this research, and then in June 2021, like you rightly pointed out, the CBN said, okay, great, it's about time we consider this. And then in October 1st, 2021, the CBN is looking forward to launch. Now, the idea is this. Everything, COVID-19 opened our eyes to how big the digital space is, how the connected economy, the digital economy, how it's helping to drive economies globally. And then for the CBN, the e-naira is that digital currency that can help us take advantage of what is happening in terms of transactions, boosting our transaction and payment system on the digital space.
Okay, now if you recall, following the directive by the CBN, to banks and other financial institutions to close accounts and entities of persons, accounts of persons and entities rather, involved in cryptocurrency transaction. How is this different from cryptocurrency?
Great. The e-naira is a digital currency. All cryptocurrencies are digital currencies, but not all digital currencies are crypto. Now, e-naira will be regulated by the CBN, and it will be disseminated through commercial banks and then end users, consumers, household, to boost their e-wallet and things like that, to enable them get better access to remittance, make transaction and payment system. But for crypto is it's an encrypted digital currency that individuals just put up, meaning there's no regulation for crypto. The idea there is that any individual that's doing crypto is strictly on his or her own world.
No regulation.
No regulation.
Yes.
And crypto does not recognize banks. That's why it's encrypted. It's an encrypted stuff, just like your WhatsApp chat, something encrypted. It's like trade by barter taken to a very technical digital space. Hey, I'm giving you this commodity to get your rice, but whatever commodity I'm giving you, we call it cryptocurrency, but it's coded, it's encrypted. Only you and I know. So whenever I choose to disappear from the digital space or from the digital matrix, nobody knows. So bottom line, cryptocurrencies are not regulated by CBN, does not use banks as any platform. But for e-naira, the CBN regulates, which minimizes the risks and shows that there will be rules of the game and enforcement capability of anybody who defaults. Then it recognizes our standard mode and banking system where commercial banks still plays role, meaning it's retaining our employment, retaining the strength of our naira, retaining the identity of our naira as our currencies, and still empowering people to help them make payment system. So e-naira is just the way to go.
And it's a way of, simply put, no cash, readily cash.
Exactly.
Okay.
It empowers persons on that platform to have e-wallets, so you can still make cash transfers from your own bank account to your e-wallet, so that you can have better access to global purchase, real time, online, real time.
Okay.
It helps you to make that kind of transaction and to get remittance very fast, as I said.
Okay, let's look at the timeline, the adoption rather of the whole scheme and the efficiency. This will be launched on October 1st, so we have like 11 days to go. What would you say regarding the public? How can they key into these within this short time frame? People accepting it, because acceptance is key.
E-naira will just continue our Nigerian transaction using the naira, but this time on an e-platform using the e-wallet. You still need a bank account to be able to operate the e-naira.
Okay.
To have e-wallet, you need bank account. Because behind all this e-naira and digital expansion of the currency space, the idea is to enhance and improve financial inclusion. Financial inclusion simply means how many people have access to bank account so that they can benefit from savings, from loans, from insurance, and things like that. So, and Nigeria right now is not doing, it's doing its best to step up in terms of financial inclusion. The CBN has a financial inclusion target of 80% of the population, but right now we are still below that. So this e-naira will also enhance that. So having access to bank account is a vital component to benefit from the e-naira. And then don't forget, having access to bank account also has a connection to how much of social intervention program one gets in terms of NHIS and Nigerian social investment, all those Empower and all the rest. Bank account is your identity to be able to benefit. There's a group called Consultative Group for Assisting the Poor, CGAP. Or financial inclusion is a very vital instrument that they use to measure how much to help people to come out of poverty. So the e-naira just expands this financial inclusion target and helps Nigeria to step up in financial inclusion attainment and overall reduce poverty in the medium to long term.
From what you're saying, Mr. Tefra, the possibilities are endless.
Certainly.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Pleasure.
All right, let's look at other issues. The civil service is undoubtedly the engine room of government due to its critical role in executing government policies and programs earmarked for the citizenry and the actualization of government's goals. However, some civil servants in Akwa Ibom State are of the view that achieving a more efficient and productive civil service requires a robust and strategic plan of action as being initiated by the federal government. Let's hear more from Clement Barikiu.
Nigeria's journey to have a well-motivated and productive workforce began in 2017 when the President Buhari-led administration initiated the reform process of the Federal Civil Service. The Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021 to 2025, which has already been submitted to Vice President, identified staff welfare and housing as key to addressing challenges associated with productivity and corruption in the service.
Sally, I also want to add to this that prompt issues concerning public service, civil servants, and the rest of them is very, very paramount.
This government has to address the issue and then make the workers feel comfortable so that they have the comfortable working environment.
Various states, including Akwa Ibom, are already keen into the different civil service reforms of the federal government based on their peculiarities.
The government is working on the human resource management system and asset management system for the service through digitization and computerization of the service records.
With the implementation status of the Federal Civil Service Strategy Plan 2017 to 2021 received by government, civil servants are hopeful the areas not captured will be addressed in the 2021 to 2025 plan. In Uyo, Clement Barkui, NTA News.
All right, let's take a break for a moment. We're back.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Welcome back. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has advocated a new societal approach in ensuring girl-child education and dealing with the challenges of school dropout and early marriage in Nigeria. Professor Yemi Osinbajo was one of those at the Malapai Foundation Literacy Day 2021, seeking the mental development of the girl child and literacy for better education in the country. Charles Affa reports.
Malapai Mass literacy for the less privileged of the Almajiris is a foundation birthed by the Almajiri project of the Aisha Bukar Cup, wife of the Kebbi State Governor in 2009. It is committed to helping thousands of out-of-school children, particularly girls, giving them a promising future through provision of skills and free education.
We have sent a lot of children to school, which they have graduated. Some of them are even working. Some of them have come back to work with Malapai Foundation.
What the Malapai Foundation Literacy Day 2021 in Abuja is out to achieve is discuss issues of gender imbalance and foster a strong advocacy for girl child education.
Nigerian girl, where are you? Are you at home or at school? Nigerian girl, where are you? Are you lost? Are you stolen? Are you free or are you enslaved?
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo believes Malapai is on a just and noble cause to develop the minds of the less privileged, saying the development of the girl child provides her the ticket to all human, socio-political and economic rights, and therefore requires conviction and strong will by all to realize.
We owe our people a duty to educate them. In other words, if you educate a woman, she transforms her environment completely. It usually means a longer lifespan for themselves and for their children.
These programs have broadened and given increased access to those who are hitherto without access.
Aisha Bukar Cup is confident the foundation will continue to drive out illiteracy in communities and build lives where more vulnerable people will have access to quality education, healthcare, and equal opportunities. In Abuja, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority has been described as a critical partner in the advancement of education in the country. Vice Chancellor of Federal University Lafia, Professor Shehu Abdurrahman, gave the accolades when he received the management of NTA Lafia in his office. Achigili Magachi will tell us more.
The visit is part of interagency collaboration efforts by the station in the areas of promoting indigenous technology and positive broadcasting for national development. Professor Abdurrahman said, NTA is a major agency that is committed to the promotion of national integration and public unity through its high level of professional broadcasting.
We are happy to have you here today so that the two organizations can, from this sitting, establish a strong relationship.
The General Manager, NTA Lafia, Sani Ibn Salihu, urged the Vice Chancellor to take advantage of NTA's wider reach, especially its knowledge channel, to carry the public along.
With your pedigree and the successes of this Federal University of Lafia, you cannot afford to restrict your media interaction to only local media. That is why you need to get strategic media partnership with NTA.
The same quest for interagency synergy took the team to the Lafia Study Center of the National Open University of Nigeria.
NTA is central to educational development in Nigeria. We are proud to partner with NTA. We are proud to collaborate with them.
The National Open University was established in 2001 as an accredited university of open distance learning for the purpose of giving opportunities to all categories of people seeking tertiary education. In Lafia, Achigili Magaji, NTA News.
On the judiciary scene, the National Judicial Council has recommended 38 judicial officers to their respective state governors for appointment as heads of courts and other judicial officers in the country. Now, out of the 38 judicial officers, 11 were recommended as heads of courts, 17 judges, 6 caddies and 2 judges of the customary Court of Appeal. All recommended candidates are expected to be sworn in after approval by President Muhammadu Buhari and their respective state governors and confirmation by the respective states' House of Assembly. The Nasarawa State Police Command has arrested 16 suspects for kidnapping in various parts of the state. Commissioner of Police Adeshina Shoyemi disclosed this while parading the suspects at the State Command headquarters in Lafia. Achigili Magachi reports.
Other suspects include 7 rail track vendors, 7 internet fraudsters, 13 armed robbers and 18 cultists. Some of the suspects, said to have admitted to the crime, are also in possession of military wares.
This one I stole it from Maduguri, Borno State. 70 Memalari Bara. I'm a Bara boy there before.
The Commissioner of Police, who expressed gratitude to the public for providing information leading to some of the arrests, appeals for the sustenance of such collaboration, especially through the police community platform to reduce crime.
Vigorously launched an unstoppable onslaught against criminals and other elements with similar mindset and take the battle to their adults, no matter how remote the place might be.
Arms and ammunition as well as laptops and more than 400,000 naira were recovered from the suspects. In Lafia, Achigili Magaji, NTA News.
Well, as part of efforts to tackle insecurity in the country, the Nigerian Army is expanding its frontiers to fortify the force. Olumide Aguntola reports that this is evident in the activities of the Chief of Army Staff, who was on operational visit to 81 Division of the Nigerian Army.
The operational visit of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, is to familiarize with the operational units and formations of the Nigerian Army in Lagos and environs. His first port of call was the Nigerian Army cantonment in Ekpe, where he inaugurated the Nigerian Army Ordnance School. Lieutenant General Yahya was conducted around the classrooms and the halls, among other units. He also performed the foundation laying of the Nigerian Army Ordnance Sports Complex. In an interaction with the traditional ruler of Ekpe, the Chief of Army Staff advocates a cordial civil-military relationship to combat security challenges with a promise to the host community that the Nigerian Army will be readily available to assist and support whenever the need arises. The Oloja of Ekpe land, Oba Kamaruddin Animashaun, commended the Nigerian Army for its efforts at tackling security challenges across the country. The traditional ruler promised the community's cooperation in the actualization of the Chief of Army Staff vision. In Lagos, Olumide Aguntola, NTA News.
The Christian Association of Nigeria has risen from its special prayer meeting in Kaduna with a resolve to continue promoting the unity and corporate existence of the country. Haruna Mohammed reports that the prayer focused on achieving peace in the polity.
As Nigerian troops continue to decimate insurgents and sustain their onslaught against bandits in various parts of the country, Khan in Kaduna State says there is no better time to pray for the gallant troops and the nation's leaders than now, believing that with God all challenges are surmountable.
Every difficult situation, God has an answer to it. That's what the Bible teaches us. And we are taking the situation of Nigeria, the ethnic tension that is going on, into God's hand. God didn't create us to be divided. God created us to be united. The fact of the matter is that God created us to be united irrespective of tribe and whatever form of identity. So simply what we are saying is that we are Nigerians. We want to see the best for our country.
They pray for the safe release of all victims of kidnap across the country, urging those fanning the amber of ethnic and social discord to have a rethink. The attendants in their numbers are uplifted spiritually to shun any ethnic or religious differences for a united and indivisible Nigeria. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Let's talk sports. With the second round of matches in the Aisha Bukar Cup, organizers say replication of the competition would be encouraged to complement women empowerment and grassroots football at state and local government levels. Samuel Johnson reports that Mali and Morocco played barren draw in their second game. Let's see it.
The Aisha Bukar Cup draws more attention to female football in the African continent and the endorsement by CAF and FIFA. The tournament would not only be annual, but will be encouraged for more impact at the grassroots.
The impact of a tournament like this on the development of grassroots football for women, I think it's really huge.
The future assured foundation, Aisha Bukar Foundations, selling a good story out there, anything material.
The match between Morocco and Mali ended goalless in the 90-minute encounter. Ghana's Black Queens would engage Cameroon's Indomitable Lionesses, while Nigeria's Super Falcons square up against South Africa's Bayana on Tuesday. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
That's Panorama. Thank you very much for your time with us. Remember, NTA is still leading the campaign against rape and rapists. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.